Real Madrid have defeated Barcelona 4-0 in the Copa del Rey second leg Clasico. Let's just get straight into this. G, what is your initial reaction and thoughts to this match?
This was a reality check for all the delusional Barca fans and supporters. What did I tell you was going to happen? Who did I say was going to show up? One Karim Benzema. And who did I say had something for you? Vinicius Jr. coming out and showing you why he's the best winger in the world. Benzema showing you why he's the best player in the world. Look, I'm not going to say I came out here and predicted 4-0. I predicted a Real Madrid win, a 2-0, and we would advance. But they just piled it on. Absolutely tore Barca apart. The best defense in the world, I couldn't tell. And what was that, Thierry Henry? Scared. Real Madrid scared of Barcelona. Did we look scared? I couldn't tell. Because you don't get to where we are, the best club, the most decorated team in the history of football, without being scared of anybody. So I never want to hear that again. I never want to hear that, or I never want to hear Benzema compared to Lewandowski ever again. Because did Lewandowski play today? Did he play realistically, or did they have Ferran Torres? Shit, I couldn't notice. It was abominable. An absolutely nothing performance, while our number 9, the greatest 9 of this generation, does what he does. And that score goes and win us games. But the victor goes to spoils. So I'm going to talk my shit all I want. Because Barca have had they beat us 3 straight in a row. But let's not forget when Real Madrid won 5 in a row, where we won 6 games unbeaten. So this was just a reality check of what's the norm. We're going back to the norm here. And Real Madrid just proved it, that we're just better.
Mm-hmm. And obviously now you'd have to say you're going to win the Copa del Rey, playing Osasuna in the final.
We might score 10. We might score 10 on Osasuna.
You're predicting a 10-0 win against Osasuna?
It's 10-0. Double hat trick from Benzema.
Okay. Look, I guess you want to hear what I have to say about this game.
Yeah, please go forth.
Look, I mean, naturally, I predicted the Barca win because I just thought Real Madrid, they just couldn't get over the hump with this Barcelona team, and I'm not gonna lie, this was a very impressive performance. This looked like the vintage Real Madrid that we saw last season. It's
earlier this season.
Or maybe even earlier this season. But I will have to defend Barcelona here, and I have to say this. This was Barcelona's B team. There was no Christensen, no Dembele, no Pedri, no De Jong. Barcelona had a very injury-ridden side. You have to admit that.
You sound like Real Madrid fans a little while ago. Look, I'm not going to let you pile this bullshit because when Barcelona beat us 4-0, people didn't play that game. Our best player, our leading goalman, did not play. That gets lost in there. So I don't give a shit who was injured. They put out Robert Lewandowski. They had him. They had Ter Stegen. They had Araujo. What happened to Araujo? The best center back in the world. Oh my God. He pockets Vinny. He's holding fucking Vinny like a baby. What happened to him today? What happened? What happened? Koundé, what happened? The best defense in Europe. What happened? You guys are going to fall back and say, oh my God, we didn't have Christensen? You didn't have Christensen? Oh my God. You played a more defensive team. You had Busquets. You had Kessie in there. And you played more defensive. You had those defensive guys. You still had your golden boy, Gavi. Look, you had Rafinha. Oh my God, Rafinha's been on such a tear. Oh, he's caught form. This is the signing that we got. Look, I don't want to hear this bullshit that, oh my God, we didn't have this guy. We didn't have this guy. Because that's exactly where we are. When we've been missing players this entire season. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to hear that is, I don't give a shit. Because even though they're missing that, you still predicted them to win anyway. You clearly said, oh, even though they're missing, they're going to win anyway. So that's not an excuse you can use.
Okay, look, I can't defend this performance. There's no defending this performance.
There's no defending. It's undefendable.
There's no defending it. It was a horrible performance. At home, they had to do better. I'm not even saying they had to win the game. All they had to do was get a draw, and they would have went through.
They would have went through. That's all. The best defensive team in Europe, all they had to do was get a draw. That's it.
But even if you're gonna lose, you can't lose 4-0 in the way that they did. It just can't happen. There's no excuse for it. I mean, ultimately, as a Real Madrid fan, you have to kind of sit there and you have to say, I'm confident playing against Xavi in a knockout competition.
Well, Real Madrid is the greatest knockout team in the history of football. I mean, this is our bread and butter. Barcelona are stepping foot into our territory. As much as they're very good in the Copa del Rey, I mean, they are the all-time winner in Copa del Rey, but knockout tournaments, that's our bread and butter, bro. That's our bread and butter. We love that. And the fact that even after we went 1-0, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. And what I want right now that I'm more, in the tune of things, I want a public apology to Karim Benzema for the absolute slander and bullshit you always spam. Benzema and Vardrid. He had a bad a couple showings the last games. Look what he did now. The first trick from a Real Madrid player at the Camp Nou since fucking what? Since Puskas. Since Puskas, bruv. 1963. That name every great player that's in Madrid, and it's taken that long to do that. And that one man did it, and that's the best 9 in the world, the best player in the world that we have to offer the world, the people to watch. He's a poacher. This is what this guy does. He owns Ter Stegen. He owns Barcelona. This is just what he does. It's Karim Benzema.
And you've previously said that he's the best 9 of this generation.
Yeah, hands down. And it's so funny that it came out towards the time when Suarez tweeted out, "Oh, you remember when, I beat out Messi and Ronaldo all the time, and I scored a hat trick versus Real Madrid. Look what Benzema did now. Look what he's doing now. While you're playing in Uruguay Sunday League, you're taking your grandkids to school, bro. This is different levels, man. Benzema's the best player on his team on a Champions League winning team. Suarez can never say that."
Do you think Benzema can win the Ballon d'Or again?
Of course he can. If Real Madrid somehow salvaged the season where it looked to a point to where it was possible that, oh my God, the great Real Madrid are going to go trophyless, we could win the double. We could win the Champions League, and we can, obviously, we've already won the Copa del Rey. Fucking give us the trophy, mail it to us. And if we win the double, everybody forgets about this season. There was any struggle. Because Benzema is going to be the best player on every single campaign. If we're going to win the Champions League this season, it's because Benzema won again.
So obviously next week, Real Madrid taking on Chelsea in the Champions League. What is your expectations for that match after this 4-0 win in El Clasico?
We might win 10-0 as well. It might be a 10-0 thrashing. It might be the first 10-0 we ever see in the Champions League, because Chelsea are abominable. I mean, that's just. They're not even, they can't even hold a candle to Barcelona. So, I mean, that's going to be a walk through the park, and I'm already looking through the next round. I'm eyeing up Bayern.
You're already on the semifinals.
I'm already on the semifinals. Oh, I'm already in the finals, realistically. Mm-hmm. I'm already picking out where we want a vacation, for the parade. We start planning the parade, man.
And you also said that you wanted to give Xavi some credit after this match.
Yeah, because, I mean, out of everyone, I can't blame Xavi. As much as I've always harped on him and said, he's a fraud or something, he was the only sane person in the Barcelona camp. All the players have become delusional. This new era, whole bullshit, as now the Real Madrid players now chant that in mocking them. But he was the only one that knew before going into this match that Real Madrid, the nightmare Real Madrid can pose to any Barca team ever, anytime. This is just what they are, because he's seen it firsthand. He's been there on the right side and not on the wrong side to a lot of those defeats. So I have to give him credit. He went out there and said, it's Real Madrid. What else can we really say? I mean, the players didn't play well. They went 1-0 down as soon as they give that. He said it basically went out the window. So I'm not blaming Xavi for this performance. I think it's just the players were abominable. You rely on your best player, Robert Lewandowski, and he can't even hold Benzema's jockstrap.
Also, and I thought Camavinga was excellent tonight, utterly brilliant, had Rafinha in his pocket, so I wanted to get your thoughts.
Well, I said it in the pre-match that this game, Camavinga would have to have his best performance in a Real Madrid kit, and that's exactly what we got. He was absolutely everywhere. He was on attack, he was on defense. He's the most versatile player on the pitch, and that saying that while he's playing alongside a player like Fede Valverde, a guy that I've always said that as well, is just phenomenal. That just proves the talent of this guy. And I've questioned him before. I mean, he gave up the goal in the first leg, but he absolutely paid in full for that mistake today. Absolutely locking down Rafinha. Man, he tried to leave the stadium with Rafinha in his pockets, man. I mean, the security had to stop and say, "Whoa, you can't leave with that."
Mm-hmm.
because that's just how good this guy was. And I think when we're talking about the best young players in the world, he has to be thrown in there.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I mean, he was utterly phenomenal today, and he's been brilliant for Real Madrid pretty much this whole season, whether it's playing left back or in midfield. So versatile, can play either one. I mean, today obviously was fantastic as a left back, and he says he doesn't like playing left back, but he's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the class of him, and I'm sure it's kind of like a thing where he obviously wants to play well, but he doesn't want to play too well left back because you don't want to get stuck there because
Yeah,
that's currently where we're hurting the most. We don't have a left back, but
yeah.
I definitely don't want to see Camavinga there. He's the future of this midfield, and every time I game more, I see more of Camavinga. It makes me think, it's like, do we really need Jude Bellingham? I mean, this guy is just so good. And the bargain we got him for, under 40 million for Camavinga, man, that's the steal of the century, steal of this decade. So I mean, I'm impressed every single time. And Tchouaméni didn't get much time to play because they relied more on our veteran talent, but that's the future. I mean, we have Camavinga and Tchouaméni.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, Ancelotti, his future was up in air potentially at the end of the season if Real Madrid didn't win a single trophy. It looks like he might have been getting the sack. So let's say in this scenario you don't win the Champions League, but you do win Copa del Rey. That's the only trophy you get. Should that be enough to save Ancelotti's job?
Absolutely. I mean, Ancelotti is one of the best managers to ever do it. He's one of the best ever. And this just proves this is the backbone of his Real Madrid team. We've never seen a Real Madrid team with this type of backbone before. A team to come back where it looked impossible. It's like, oh, Barcelona have your number, and you're already 1-0 down going into it. But the swagger that he brings, the confidence that he has on the side of the pitch, you never see him, sweat, or you ever see him, he doesn't visibly show that we're under pressure at all. That's just how he is, and that's how he runs the team.
Mm-hmm.
The players always think they can do it, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought it was crazy to even think about sacking Carlo Ancelotti, even if you won no trophies, and now it's looking like an almost guarantee that you do win at least the Copa del Rey, and you're still in the Champions League. We'll see what happens with that. So I think Ancelotti should remain Real Madrid manager, but at the end of the day, I also kind of hope he doesn't, so that he could potentially come to Chelsea, because I think
God,
he'd be
he's going to
brilliant.
Brazil, bro. Let it go.
If he does leave, he's going to Brazil more than likely, but I think that there's definitely a scenario now at the end of the season to where he stays, and I think before today, it was looking like you have to win the Champions League. Now there's a scenario you don't win the Champions League and you still may have a job. I think he deserves it. I think he deserves a good transfer window. And then, I mean, if the team still struggles, then maybe you sack him. But I
Yeah.
think given what he's done, and there's going to be more trophies, and this Madrid have kind of had a little bit of a Copa del Rey curse. They haven't won it in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, they've never superly prioritized it. It's never been a huge priority. And up to the season to where they decided to take it basically balls to the wall. We played our best 11 almost all through the knockouts. We usually never do that because we usually fall out to a smaller side team when we're playing our secondary team. But when it comes to when we're playing, like we had to play Atletico and then we had to play Barca, we play our best 11s out there, and we get the job done.
Yeah. I can't deny anything after that performance. You know what I mean?
It's just the all powerful reality check that we needed in the world of football.
Obviously, this is finally that we've had the final El Clasico of the season. It seems like this season has been so many El Clasicos. Naturally, we're gonna have more Real Madrid videos coming out just next week. We got the Champions League, Chelsea versus Real Madrid. We're gonna be interested to see who wins that. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this game. What did you think about the future upcoming games for Real Madrid? Do you think they can beat Chelsea in the Champions League? Will they beat Chelsea? Will Benzema score a hat trick? We'll have to see. Subscribe to the channel. Slap a like on the video. But I think without further ado, we can get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
So I'm Zach.
I'm G.
And we'll see you next time for another video.